Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and today I'm going to be giving you my full review of the Tempest Knives Fractus. These were pre-ordered back in February. I want to say it's currently April 1st. I don't think pre-order has delivered, but these are closed as of the time of filming. I believe they fully sold out. I'm sure that Casey over at Tempest Knives and Knives Fast will have more of these available when the shipment comes in, but keep that in mind that they are not available right now, but keep an eye out for them. The Fractus here has S90V blade steel, titanium frame lock with a milled clip that is reversible. You can see it's mounted on the bottom there. And the inlays, there's a couple options. There was this weave carbon fiber, which is kind of like your classic CF. You can, see that weave pattern up here. And I know there was also an Arctic, so kind of a blue fat carbon. And there may have been one other option. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I do know that those are two of the options that were available. Just some little design things that I want to show off that, of course, if you are familiar with Tempest Knives, you'll know exactly what I'm going to show you here, which is the logo. You can see right there. It's going to have a hard time focusing, but maybe if I open this up, it might be easier. You got the logo up on the blade here. It's a little hard to see, but it's like a little cyclone kind of logo. And the blade steel stamp just below it. And then the pivot is the next thing I want to talk about. That kind of rim look to that pivot. It kind of looks like a car rim. You can see this side has the tooling. The other side is captive. And then, of course, the slot / hole here. Very much a Tempest Knives design element. I can't think of the right way to phrase it, but it's certainly something that you see on a lot of Casey's designs. You first saw it on the Mach 51, I believe is the name of the knife, then the Pinion, and now you're seeing it again on the Fractus. The Fractus is a really good knife. When I first got it in hand, I thought maybe there was a little too much handle. This choil's very generous, and my fingers fit just fine down here on the handle, wearing, large size glove, pretty big hands. You can see how this fits my hand totally fine without using the choil. And then I can choke up, and there's plenty of handle left over in a hammer grip here. Or if I'm in more of a saber grip, then I'm using up that whole handle. As you can see, some nice jimping there on the back. So I didn't find it necessary, at first, for me anyway. Some people may really like that choked up position. Some people might want to handle this down on the handle only and avoid the choil. Either way is going to work for you. Kind of regardless what size hands you have, you can take advantage of either position here. You're not going to be in that weird middle ground where it's like you have to be in one or the other, which I appreciate. But yeah, at first I wasn't sure how to feel about it, and I learned through using this that I actually really liked having the option. Despite losing some sharpened blade length by having such a big finger choil, I think that aesthetically it makes a lot of sense for the design. And ultimately, being able to choke up does give you a little bit more control and a little bit more power behind the cuts. So if that's something that you need in your use, then you're going to want to use the choil regularly. It's pretty comfortable in hand. I don't notice the pocket clip at all. We'll show this off real quick here. You can see it's a very flat profile. It does not stick up too high. You have nice point of contact here, riding on the smoother carbon fiber surface. I know it's not going to be seen in this video. I know there's basically nothing I can do to show it off, but there is a micro milled texture all along this titanium, and yeah, it's not going to be able to pick it up on the camera, of course, but it's there. Trust me, there is micro milling on this, and it's smart to have the clip landing on that inlay. Of course, the inlay is the full length of the handle, so naturally the clip's going to land there, but that was a choice, nevertheless, to do those full inlays rather than partials. And as I had mentioned earlier, that clip is reversible. So if you want to carry this left-handed, you can do that. There is no micro milling. texture on the clip here. Maybe you can tell the difference now, saying that one is and one is not, but probably not still, just because I know the front camera of the iPhone's not amazing. But what is amazing is the action and the detent. You like that little transition there? It wasn't intentional, but you can hear how that closes. It's got a nice, nice little thwack as it closes here. That detent really pulls it back in. It's got great acoustics. As I missed there, that's just because I hit my other finger. For reverse flicking, you can go anywhere in the hole from the bottom all the way up to the top. If you want to fire it a little more, you maybe want to go to the top. And if you just want to flick it out, you can go to the bottom. And you can even go as far down as to this kind of fullered area rather than the hole. And that's no problem either. Flicking it works perfectly fine with both the reverse flick and the thumb flick. No issues there. And of course, you're not going to have any issues doing this left-handed as well. You can see the right-handed access there. And then the left-handed access, you still have that whole slot. If anything, I actually might prefer the left-handed access because you have access straight to this top ridge where you need to be. Whereas with the right-handed access, you really don't need to get to this bottom half. Of course, that cutout's just there to help you get to the lock bar. Nice lock bar cutout there. Really good access. But plenty of access left-handed during the reverse flick or the thumb flick still. No problem left-handed. The cutting geometry of this is really nice. You have a flat grind, and the S90V is really good on this guy. You have what's mostly like a 3/4 of the way, maybe 80% of the blade has that flat grind to it, and it comes to a pretty thin edge. And then in this whole back portion of the blade, you're really not dealing with the full thickness, which makes this go through material really nicely. You have the hole, then the fuller, and then that tiny little portion of full thickness. Ultimately leads to this being quite slicey. And it's also not totally thin either. The blade stock on this is probably 0.12. I didn't measure it, and I'm not looking at the website at the moment. But probably 0.12, 0.125, pretty standard for blade stock thickness. But you can see as you approach the tip on this, that you really don't start losing that thickness at all until the last half an inch, maybe 1/4 inch of the blade. I know the reflection's not doing me any good here, but really you're staying full thickness up until about this point here. So you have a very well supported tip. You're not going to break this tip most likely unless you're doing something stupid, which I would say don't do that stupid thing. Don't use it as a screwdriver, don't pry things with it, and the tip on this is going to be just fine. Ultimately, though, the Fractus really performed well. You know, it's slim in hand, it carries well in the pocket, the action's really good, and the cutting performance is good as well. There's nothing really for me to complain. You know, Casey's got a good one on his hands here, and I'm excited for everyone to get these in hand. So big shout out to Tempest Knives and Casey from Knives Fast, because this one was a home run. Like I said, I didn't love the handle at first, but I really came around to love the options of being able to choke up and choke down, whether I wanted to have just repeated cuts in that kind of back position, or if I needed to do a little bit more detailed work, or if I was opening a box or something. It's really easy to come up into that choil area, kind of do like a pinch grip type of thing, all the way choked up, and it worked out really nicely. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please let me know your thoughts on the Fractus down below. Did you order one? Do you plan on getting one? If more, drop. And overall, just let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.